Most of us know that stare. You catch yourself in the mirror, and instead of seeing what you are, you see the massive, frustrating gap between the potential you know you have and the daily excuses keeping you exactly where you are. The reality of day one is entirely unglamorous. There is zero muscle definition. Confidence is practically non-existent. You find yourself winded just completing the baseline chores of a normal Tuesday. A quiet, crushing realization settles in. Without an aggressive intervention right now, this low-energy trajectory will become your permanent baseline. Breaking out of that cycle means dropping the self-doubt entirely. You have to draw a hard line in the sand and commit to an immovable, absolute deadline. When people decide to make a change, they usually look for a quick fix. They buy heavily marketed supplements, hire expensive personal trainers, or try punishing extreme routines that the fitness industry sells as a shortcut. The problem is that these solutions rely on motivation, and motivation is a temporary emotional state. It ebbs and flows. Over a long enough timeline, relying on a feeling to dictate your actions has a near 100% failure rate. The 90-day protocol functions as a rigid psychological constraint. It is designed to remove your options and eliminate the internal debate over whether or not you feel like training. It operates on one non-negotiable rule. Under absolutely zero conditions are you allowed to quit before that 90th day is over. You stop waiting for the right mood to strike. You replace the unreliable spark of motivation with the permanent, concrete architecture of daily discipline. When you strip away the hype, the actual mechanics of the training protocol are surprisingly mundane. There are no secret exercises. It's a repeating 5-day loop. Chest and triceps, back and biceps, legs, shoulders and abs, and finally cardio or HIIT. Then repeat. But lifting weights is useless if baseline nutritional inputs are dankering the system. The food requirements are rigidly straightforward. High protein, balanced carbohydrates, healthy fats. Simple, whole foods. Eggs and oats for breakfast, rice and chicken for lunch, and a light protein dinner. To protect the system, you implement absolute boundaries. No junk food, no refined sugar, and zero cheat meals. This setup eliminates decision fatigue. You don't have to wake up and decide what to eat or what to lift. The structure makes the choices for you, demanding only your daily compliance. Even with a perfect system, the timeline contains a highly dangerous trap. The first 30 days form a high-friction period known as the Valley of Disappointment. Your body rebels against the new demands. Your muscles are in a state of constant soreness. Persistent fatigue shadows you all day, and your brain bombards you with aggressive sugar cravings. This chart highlights a cruel paradox. You put in maximum output, but your physical reflection doesn't change. Experiencing high effort with zero feedback is psychologically damaging. Trapped in this gap, where work is hard but reward is invisible, most people quit. Pushing through month one is rarely a physical test. It is a psychological battle to override your brain's hardwired demand for immediate gratification. If you survive until day 30, an invisible adaptation occurs. The gym stops feeling like a heavy, external burden and quietly integrates into your daily routine. It becomes a habit. Internal indicators start to surface. You find your nervous system coordinating better under a heavy load, and your baseline energy levels stop crashing mid-afternoon. This sequence is consistent. The cognitive friction must dissolve, and the habit must lock in before the physical silhouette begins its visible shift. By the time you enter days 60 to 90, the math finally tips in your favor. All that relentless, daily consistency begins to compound rapidly. The visual changes arrive fast. Body fat drops off, muscle groups carve out distinct definition, and suddenly peers start asking what secret routine you've been doing. This leads to the day 90 state. You have built an entirely new physical capability and a deep, quiet confidence that stands in stark contrast to where you started. But looking at a finished before and after photo is deceptive. The final image conveniently hides all the 5 a.m. alarms, the brutal soreness, and the isolated discipline it took to get there. The results are forged during the hours nobody else sees. On the mornings you woke up sore, and the evenings you chose discipline over a craving. Waiting for perfect conditions is a myth that will keep you exactly where you are. You only need to begin. Because consistency always beats motivation, your own 90-day timeline starts the moment you refuse to stop.